Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250, and welcome back to Steins Gate the visual novel. We're back here again on what I believe to be the third time that we've time-leapt, trying to save Mayuri, which we've failed so far. I've got about 3 minutes through this episode, realized that I wasn't recording, so I have a little bit of knowledge about what's going to happen. And one small thing I wanted to put in, I didn't know this. Apparently there is a Steins Gate, live-action play. It happened in Japan, and I'm hoping there's a translation at some point. Apparently, there's actually 6 different versions of the play, one for each of the endings of the visual novel, which I thought was really cool. But anyway, enough of that, let's continue. As before, the Braun Tube Workshop closes early. Mayuri appears as Suzuha and Mr. Braun are leaving. We run through Kaneda and Mojin's back streets to Ochanamizu Station, taking only minimal precautions to avoid attracting attention. We have to get there before the Sobu line shuts down. We manage to make it to the station without being stopped, but when we get there, I see a group of men waiting by the entrance. They look like CERN. Change of plans. We turn around and head for the Shin Ochanamizu subway station. I'm just saying, she said she had men everywhere in Akihabara. You would think, let's not go for the major routes of transportation. We arrive at the station later than I intended. I don't usually come here, so I got lost. I stare nervously at the platform clock. According to the scrolling display, the Yamanote, Kihine, Tohoku, and Sobu lines have already suspended operations. Wait, it looks like the Chiyoda line is too. It must be protocol to assume that nearby stations may be threatened, even stations on unconnected lines. Darn. Mayuri hasn't said a word about my strange behavior. This is the 3rd time I've led her on this escape, but each time she follows me without complaint. Does she really trust me that much? Maybe she can feel my desperation. That's why I want so badly to save her. We've been together for more than a decade. She's like a little sister to me. I'll leap as many times as it takes. Mayuri tilts her head quizzically. I realize that I'm staring at her.
オカリン、マユシーは聞きたいこといっぱいあるけど、今は我慢しとくね。その代わり、終わったらね、全部聞かせてほしいです。
ああ、約束する。
Mayuri smiles happily at that answer. That's right. While we wait for the train, I should ask Mayuri about her whereabouts today. If I have to leap again, I'll need all the information I can get.
お前、ルカ子に会った後はどこに行っていた？
ふぶきちゃんからメールがあってね、マユシーのコスにちょっと問題発生しちゃってたのです。糸がほつれてるところがあったんだ。それを直しに。
ふぶきちゃんというのはどこに住んでいる？
住んでるっていうかね。
Oh man, it's the Starbucks again. You thought we were done with Starbucks. Nope, there's more Starbucks. So that's where she was. Just then, an announcement plays over the PA system. The subway is resuming normal operations. About 20 minutes have passed since we arrived. I didn't expect to be stuck here that long, but it's okay. Right now, Moeka should be in Akihabara, heading to the lab. Everything is going to be alright. While waiting for the train, I examine the route map on the station's notice board. We can transfer to an overhead train at Yogi Uhara. It'll take a while, but that will take us all the way to Odawara. Another announcement. Our train is arriving. I can hear the rumbling and see the lights at the end of the tunnel. Mayuri and I are standing just behind the white line. I reach for her hand, meaning to make a dash for the train when the doors open. But I guess there's no hurry now. I let my hand fall to my side, empty. The roar comes closer.
今日のパーティー
Mayuri is saying something. I can't quite hear her over the train.
中止になったけど絶対にいつかまゆりお姉ちゃん
Suddenly, Mayuri disappears. There she is, leaning out over the tracks. She's off balance, as if she stumbled or someone pushed her. She seems to hang there for a moment, and then the train comes screaming into the station. Ooh, ah. Oh. I hear a sound from under the train. I can't describe it, but it makes me instantly nauseous. Sparks fly as the train slams on its brakes. The people on the platform scream. I turn to where Mayuri was just a moment ago. There stands a familiar girl. Tiny, adorable, a cute black rabbit pouch slung over her shoulder. Tanoji Nai. She looks up at me. Her eyes are wide. Her lips tremble. She stares at me for a few more seconds, as if waiting for me to say something, then turns and runs away. The platform is in chaos. The PA informs us that there's been a personal injury there's been more than an injury. Nai is already gone. I don't go after her. Instead, I peek timidly through the gap between the train and the platform. Yeah, this part in the story always, it's like a mixture between like a cringe and like incredible sadness. On one side of the track is a wash of red. And I feel so bad about Nai too, like seriously. That gets me like within like very, very close to tears every time I see that in the anime. My mind is blank. I can't think. I don't even remember how I got back to the lab. Moika's group should have come and gone, but the time leap machine is still here. I guess I should be grateful. Every time that it happens, it's like that's probably one of the worst parts, just in terms of like the feels. It takes longer than usual to set up the machine. For some reason, I have trouble recalling my own phone number. At last, it's ready. Now, take me back. I feel like there's supposed to be something playing when that sound happens. Not sure. Now, I don't know if you guys are noticing. I thought I'd just point it out. I mean, you might have noticed, but Okarin didn't take that one as hard. I mean, you could tell he was obviously freaking out a lot, but at the same time, he didn't take that death quite as hard. And you'll notice that, like, when he first did it, he took it really hard, but this time he's not. Like, he's kind of, I wouldn't say getting used to it, but he's kind of becoming dull to the pain. The leap occurs instantaneously. Tider claimed that his time machine takes 1 hour of subjective time to travel 10 years. I don't know if ours is the same behavior, but now is not the time to find out. 10 years. I have no business that far back. Besides, according to Kursu, time leaping too far into the past could cause mental disorders, due to the gap between personality and memory. Mayuri is singing her chicken song, though she's actually eating pre-cooked chicken from the convenience store instead of her usual juicy chicken #1. She had to switch because she can't warm up frozen chicken in the microwave, which is now a dedicated part of the time leap machine. I was right to come back 5 hours. Mayuri is still in the lab. But what happened back there? It hurts, but I force myself to recall that horrifying scene. Admittedly, that's not a great scene. Mayuri died again. This time, it happened at Shin Ochanomizu Station, a place completely unrelated to the lab or the bomb threat. Tenoji Nai pushed her onto the tracks, which, that's another thing I've always been a little curious about. Why was Nai there? Like, what business does Nai have there without her father? Where the train tore her to shreds. Could Nai be working for CERN too? Oh, that's a good question. No. No, that can't be right. Nai has the habit of jumping on Mayuri and greeting. She was probably just being her usual affectionate self. But why did she choose that precise moment? I don't know. I sense malice. Whose malice? It's like fate is playing a cruel joke on us. Whatever the case, all that matters now is that I have another chance. I need to act. I have the power to save Mayuri. I will do whatever it takes to find a way. This time, we hail a taxi on Chirodori. It'll be expensive, but that hardly matters now. Mayuri comes along quietly. I consider taking her home to Ikebukuro, but Moka's group might be watching her house. I have no idea where they are at this point in time. Instead, I ask the driver to take us to Shinagawa. However, the traffic is unusually heavy. The driver says it's never been this bad before, probably has something to do with the fact that all the train lines are stopped. There must be an obstruction up ahead, an accident or something. That's the only explanation I can think of. We've made it out of Akiba, but at this rate, it will take forever to reach Shinagawa. I consider getting off here and taking the train, but then I remember what happened at Ochanomizu Station. I have a bad feeling about this. The traffic jam could be CERN's doing. I look out the window and scan the crowd for anyone who might be a CERN agent. 3 hours later, we're still stuck. According to a conversation I overheard between our driver and another driver, there's some kind of inspection up ahead. Furthermore, it doesn't seem to be a police inspection, and a small fight broke out at the inspection site or something. To make matters worse, this road has already been closed off, and all the cars behind us are being detoured. There are only about 100 cars waiting, but the inspection has been in a standstill for 3 hours. This can't be a coincidence. Once again, I feel the malice of fate manipulating the situation. Is Mayuri going to die again? If I'd known it was going to turn out like this, I'd have ditched the taxi hours ago. It's not too late. I should pay the driver and get off right. Just then, someone knocks on the window. Our taxi is stopped in the middle of the road. What's going on? I look over, but before I can say anything, a man opens the rear door and gets in next to Mayuri. He's holding a knife. Another assassin! Before she can reply, the man covers Mayuri's mouth with a large, meaty hand. I try to open my door, but it's locked. Only the driver can open it from the inside. Ooh. Mayuri opens her eyes wide. Her body twitches. It all happened too fast. The man sinks his knife into Mayuri's chest. A bright red spot stains her clothes. Man who stabbed Mayuri. Another man gets into the passenger seat. He points a gun at the driver and says something to him. Strength drains from Mayuri's body. Her eyes slowly close. A tear rolls down her cheek. I watched her die inches away, powerless to stop it. I can feel her last breath against my skin. They killed her again. Why? Why? Why can't I save her? Why won't you let me save her? Who decided that Mayuri must die? Moeka? CERN? Or does the world itself wish for Mayuri's death? I won't accept that. I clench my jaw and throw myself forward, driving my forehead into the killer's nose. He falls back. I shout to the driver. I crawl out of the taxi and take off running through the traffic jam. After running for hours, I make it back to the lab. Luckily, the time leap machine is still there. I have to leap again. And there goes another failure. Every time we run, Mayuri dies. 6 hours into the past, I clutch my head and rack my brain for an answer. I feel like I've hit a dead end. What do I do if we can't run away? Is there no way to save her?
無理なものか。絶対に助けてやる。
何のこと？
Mayuri's blank stare is the only answer I get. This time, I take her to the closest police station and beg them to protect her. When asked why, I explain that someone is going to kill Mayuri 6 hours from now, but without any proof that someone's after her, they have no choice but to turn us away. It's past 6 by the time we leave the station, and we're left with no choice but to keep running. I wish that I could blame my previous failures on bad luck. We could try Ochanamizu or Shinabashi again, and maybe this time she won't die. But I don't have the courage to try those routes again. At the same time, we can't stay in Akiba. We're running out of options. Subways, trains, and taxis, all out. Attempting escape by those means will get Mayuri killed. So my heart tells me, perhaps the fear is irrational, but I can't put it out of my mind. I've seen her die a half-dozen times already. Shot, stabbed, torn to pieces. I can't go through that again. We take refuge in Yodobashi Camera. I thought we could keep hiding there indefinitely, but just after 7, we hear an explosion in front of the station. Yodobashi goes into chaos. Policemen appear and start evacuating the store. When I try to explain our situation, an officer shouts, "Terrorist!" and pulls his gun. This can't be happening. This isn't America. Japanese police officers don't shoot without provocation. Mayuri dies. It happens so fast. The policeman shoots her right in the head. I don't know if he was a real policeman or a CERN assassin in disguise. It doesn't matter. I can't deny it any longer. The world itself is killing Mayuri. And when you've gotten to the point that the world itself is killing your best friend, you're kind of in a bad spot. This time, I don't leap into action immediately. Instead, I sit on the couch and collect my thoughts. Every time I try to save Mayuri, it ends in the worst possible way. To make matters worse, I no longer even know what I'm supposed to be saving her from. Cause and effect. Why does Mayuri die? At first, I thought it was Moeka or Hitswad, sent by CERN to steal our time machine. But as I leapt back in time again and again, the cause of Mayuri's death kept changing. At Shina Ochanamizu Station, she died because Nai pushed her off the platform. CERN had nothing to do with that. It was an accident. Unless she was a CERN operative all along. Each time I leap, she dies in a different way. What does that mean? I've been thinking for an hour, and I'm no closer to an answer. I want someone to tell me, but who can I ask? I'm the only person in history to leap through time. No, there's one more. John Teeter. But he's not replying to my emails anymore, and he hasn't posted on @channel in days. I'm not even convinced he's a real time traveler. I decide not to run this time. Instead, I take a different approach. Strike first. I send Moeka an email. I need to talk to you about her time machine. Meet me alone. I designate the roof of Radio Kaikan as their meeting place. 2 weeks have passed since the satellite crashed, but it's still there, and the building's still closed. At least the security is lessened, so it's easy for me to sneak in. Not that there's any sneaking to do. I just walk in through the front door like I belong there. No one questions me. Last time I came here was for Dr. Nakabachi's presentation. Of course, on this world line, the presentation was cancelled. Naturally, there's nobody here but me. It occurs to me that this is a dangerous gambit. Moeka might have a gun, and I already know that she's willing to use it. But then, I don't intend to play fair either. We're supposed to meet at 5:30. It's just after 5. I came early in order to ambush her. I hide in the shadows and wait with bated breath. About 30 minutes later, I hear the door open. Moeka makes her entrance alone. She looks around restlessly. She still hasn't noticed me. I take a gun out of my shirt. It's not real. It's Future Gadget number 1, the Bit Particle Gun. It's just a toy ray gun with a remote control attached. Obviously a bluff, but it's all I could repair on such short notice. I run up behind Moeka and shove the Bit Particle Gun into her back.
Don't move. Hands in the air.
動くな。両手を上げろ。
Just like a Hollywood movie. But this isn't a movie. This is real. And she isn't even an actress. She's a murderer. After Moeka raises her hands, I feel through her clothes. Sure enough, she's carrying a gun. I take it from her and press it to Moeka's back in place of the Bit Particle Gun.
残念だったな。最初の銃はおもちゃだ。話を聞きたい。お前がセルンの死角であることは分かっている。
なぜ？
知りたいのか。知りたいのかよ。
My frustration and rage boil over. Because of her. Because of her, Mayuri.
俺はタイムマシンで未来から来た。冗談だと思っているのか。だが俺はすでに 4,5 回は同じ時間を繰り返してきた。
I've lost count of how many times exactly. And I haven't slept at all in that entire time. Strangely, I'm not tired at all.
だからこれからお前たちが何をするかも知っている。7時過ぎに電車が止まる。バカ。
Moeka gasps. So it was their doing.
お前と仲間たちが今日ラブを襲撃することも知っている。そこでお前がマユリを殺すこともだ。
私も
理解したか。俺がタイムリーパーだと。
Moeka nods faintly. I could kill her now. It would be easy. But no, I need information.
お前たちはセルンの何なんだ。
ラウンダー。
Moeka answers with a surprising obedience. I guess she values her own life, even though she has no problem depriving other people of theirs.
ラウンダー。一体どういう組織なんだ。セルンとの関係性は。
Sounds a little bit like a mercenary almost.
メールで。
ダメだ。口頭で説明しろ。
ラウンダーはセルンとは別組織。公には出てこない。そういう扱い。
秘密の傭兵部隊か。
違う。 IBN5100 その情報収集と回収のため世界中に散らばってそれを集める。
IBN 5100s. That's right. When I met her, she was looking for an IBN 5100. These days, they're nearly impossible to find. People will pay millions just to own one. Is that because CERN has been hunting them down?
ラウンダーの規模は答えろ。
知らない。まただから。
So she's not important enough to be told.
俺が手に入れた IBN5100 を盗んだのもやはりお前だな。
Moeka doesn't answer.
なぜ IBN5100 の情報をハッキング対策か。
機密保持最も優先すべき事項だから。セルンの
一体何が隠されている。タイムトラベルの人体実験やその実験で何百人と殺しているという情報は普通の PC でもハッキングで見ることができた。 IBN5100 で構築されたデータベースにはそれ以上の極秘情報があるというのか。
知らない。
末端だからか。
My tone is sarcastic, but Moeka nods. Darn, she's useless.
なぜラボを襲った。いやお前にとってはこれから襲うか。
分かっているはず。
セルへのハッキングをしたからか。
理由は3つ。1つは知ったから。
See, you know too much. That's the email we got.
知ってはいけないこと。
So CERN did know about the hacking. Well, I mean, if you've got a private fiber connection to CERN, they probably know you're accessing their data.
それとタイムマシン、君たちが作った。
They want our time machine. CERN must be trying to monopolize time travel technology.
決定的だったのは君たちがそのタイムマシンを世間に公表しようとしたこと。
How does she know that? We made that decision right after the time leap machine was completed. That was only a few hours ago.
だから全員を拘束。
拘束。マユリを殺したではないか。
あの子は必要ない。
Unnecessary? I nearly pulled the trigger.
タイムマシンを作ったのは君とマキセと橋田だから。あの子は殺しても構わない。そう言われた。
俺たちを拘束してどうするつもりだった。
セルンの施設に監禁してタイムマシン実用化の研究を。
そうやってこれまでにもセルン以外のタイムマシン研究を潰してきたんじゃないか。
私は回収しろと言われただけ。
お前のことを一瞬でも仲間にした俺が間違いだった。
セルンのためすべて FP の命令すべて何でもやる。 FP の指示なら。
FB? Is that the name of your supervisor?
岡部君、君なのジョン・タイターは。
何。
John Titor?
考えられない。君しか。
Me?
何をバカな。
I dig the gun into Moika's back.
それより死にたくなかったら今すぐにお前の仲間とそれと FB とやらに連絡しろ。ラボ襲撃は中止だと。
Moika shakes her head.
そんな権限ない。
知ったことか。権限がなかろうが何とかするんだ。でないと殺す。
I can't do it. I'm not a killer. My hands are trembling, just like Moika's were before she shot Mayuri.
なんで殺したんだ。
She was hesitating. She didn't want to pull the trigger. But she did.
お前もあんなことしたくなかったんだろう。なのになんで。
私は従うだけ。 FB に。
だったらその FB とかいうやつをここに連れてこい。
Moika shakes her head again.
だからそっちの事情なんて知ったことじゃないと。
無理なの。 FB に会ったことは。
Something hard stabs into my back. A chill runs through my body. There's someone behind me.
銃を捨てろ。
A man's voice. Is he with Moika?
汚いぞ。キリュウモエか。
I'm ready to pull the trigger in cold blood.
二人だけで会うと約束しただろう。
Moika doesn't answer.
いいから銃を捨てろ。
タイムマシンは渡せ。だから誰も殺すな。
だとしても。
Even though I'm still pointing the gun at her, Moika steps away and turns to face me. Her eyes are cold, her expression unreadable.
監禁して二度と出されない。
Moika takes the gun from my hand. I'm unable to resist.
頼む。ハッキングのことを謝るから。誰も殺さないでくれ。
Ow. Something strikes the back of my head. My legs give out instantly, sending me to the ground. Darkness creeps in.
ターゲット B を確保。開始を頼む。
Deep down, I knew it. I can't save Mayuri. Even if Moika's group doesn't kill her, someone or something else will. The world itself wants her dead. That is the choice of Steins Gate. Steins Gate? There's no such thing. Those words have no meaning. It's just some nonsense I made up to sound cool.
Is this the choice of Steins? No. No, it's not. Get out of your damn head, Okabe.
Steins Gate doesn't exist, but fate does. Fate. God. The will of the universe. An absolute force that no one can resist. It exists, and it has sentenced Mayuri to death. And we're going to stop here for today. A lot's actually happening. And it's very fun, and I don't know, this is my favorite part of the story, like, because every time I've watched it with a couple friends, watched through the story a couple times, the anime I'm talking about, and every time I get to this is where I just start smiling so much, because I just love this part of the story so much. And I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for more Steins Gate, the visual novel. Bye!